What if everything you needed to know about her desire was never spoken? In a world obsessed with words, it's easy to forget that the human body speaks its own ancient language. A flicker of the eye, the brush of her wrist, the turn of her knees. These are not accidents. These are signals, quiet invitations, expressions of interest wrapped in silence. And yet, most men, good men, miss them entirely, not because they're blind, but because they're not trained to see. Welcome to Ultimate Stoicism, where perception becomes your power. You've spent years mastering your career, your responsibilities, your image. But the truth is, real confidence, the kind that draws her in without effort, comes from a deeper place, from stillness, from presence, from knowing what others overlook. And that begins with awareness. The ancient Stoics taught us that mastery over life begins with mastering how we interpret the world. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In other words, what you choose to notice shapes who you become, and in this moment you are being invited to shift how you see. This is not a video about how to chase women or manipulate desire. This is a lesson in perception. A man who sees clearly does not need to beg. He does not need to ask if she's interested, because he can feel it, and more importantly, he can read it. There is a quiet advantage in recognizing what other men dismiss, and today you're going to gain that edge. So as we begin, set aside the noise. Let go of judgment and listen, not just with your ears, but with the calm, focused mind of a Stoic. Because in the spaces between her words, her truest intentions are revealed. And if you're paying attention, you'll never miss them again. The 21 Signs, a Stoic's guide to reading unspoken desire. 1. The tender shoulder shrug. This movement isn't random. When she gently lifts her shoulder, especially toward you, it's an unconscious echo of warmth and vulnerability. It mirrors how someone cradles something they cherish. The Stoic man sees this not as flirtation, but as an invitation to be present, not reactive. She's signaling softness. How will you respond? With ego or equanimity? 2. The hair flip or toss. Whether her hair is long or short, when she sweeps it away from her face, what she's truly doing is revealing a vulnerable zone, the neck. Stoicism teaches us to look for intention behind the gesture. This isn't vanity, it's exposure. She's saying, "I want to be seen by you." Do you meet her gaze with poise or with neediness? 3. The sway of her hips. A woman aware of your presence may walk just a little differently. Her body moves with rhythm and grace, not for show, but instinctively. The Stoic sees this not as performance, but as connection through nature. The question is, are you observing with presence or projecting with desire? 4. The bathroom reset, make-up touch-up. If she returns with fresh lipstick or a bit more polish, it's not just about beauty, it's effort. A Stoic man doesn't flatter cheaply, but he appreciates what it means when someone chooses to show up more fully. She's signaling, "You matter." The response? Not praise, but respect. 5. The lingering gaze at your lips. When her eyes fall, again and again, to your mouth, it's not accidental, it's primal. Perhaps she imagines what you'd say, or what you wouldn't. The Stoic man doesn't rush into that moment. He holds the tension, because attraction lives in the space between what is and what could be. 6. The placement of her purse. Objects carry energy. When she puts her purse near you, within reach, or invites you to interact with it, she's letting her guard down. She's offering proximity. Stoicism teaches us that trust is a choice, not a reaction. The real signal here isn't the purse, it's her comfort. 7. The eyebrow raise and drooping eyelids. This micro-expression is as old as seduction itself. Raised brows signal interest, lowered lids suggest intimacy. It's not a game, it's instinct. She's balancing openness with allure. You, the Stoic observer, remain grounded. Not lost in fantasy, but alert to reality. 8. The limp wrist. A relaxed, unguarded wrist during conversation often signals openness, receptivity, even subtle submissiveness. This is not weakness, it's trust. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what she does, but how you respond that defines you. You are not here to conquer, you're here to understand. 9. Stroking her knees. Touching herself, especially areas like her knees, is a form of self-soothing and often subconscious signaling. It's a form of grounding mixed with curiosity. The Stoic man sees through impulse and asks, what does her comfort say about the space I'm creating? 10. Exposing the inner wrist. The inner wrist is a sensitive and private part of the body. When revealed or subtly directed toward you, it's an act of unspoken trust. In a world where walls are common, exposure is rare. Acknowledge it, not with desire, but with dignity. 11. Leg crossing with purpose. Crossing legs isn't just positioning, it's statement. Depending on how and when, it might be an invitation or a subtle defense. Stoicism sharpens your discernment. You don't jump to conclusions, you observe, adjust, and stay centered. 12. Stroking the neck or thigh. This gesture combines vulnerability and sensuality. It says, I feel something, and I'm aware of it. The Stoic man doesn't exploit that moment, he respects it. Because where others react, he reflects. 13. Stroking objects, wineglass, straw, jewelry. When she handles objects with slow, rhythmic motion, especially those with suggestive shape, it's often a subconscious projection of desire. This doesn't call for immediate action, it calls for deeper attention. The Stoic sees symbolism, not seduction. 14. Hair twirling. The twirl is one of the most ancient flirtations, but how she does it matters. Gentle, flowing motion signals openness. Erratic, biting movement may suggest discomfort. The Stoic doesn't judge, he tunes in. 15. Tucking one foot under her leg. This gesture strips away formality. It's a move toward casual intimacy, toward emotional safety. She's telling you she's settling into the moment. Are you present enough to hold it? 16. Dangling her shoe. The act of gently slipping her foot in and out of her shoe is not mindless, it's loaded. This movement reveals ease and hidden playfulness. It's rhythmic, seductive. But as a Stoic, you don't chase signals, you hold space for them to unfold. 17. Lingering gaze with lowered eyelids. When she locks eyes, then drops her gaze slowly, she's giving you something most men miss, a shared moment, a dance without movement. The Stoic recognizes this as a moment of depth, not domination. 18. Eyebrow plucking during conversation. A subtle grooming gesture done in your presence often reveals a desire to self-present, to feel seen. While others think it's habit, you know better. It's preparation. She's drawing attention to herself in a way she hopes you'll notice. 19. Pulling her hair into a bun or ponytail. Exposing the back of her neck isn't merely convenience. It's an unconscious act of exposure, of trust. In some cultures, that part of the body is the most intimate. The Stoic sees this and honors it with respect, not assumption. 20. Touching or revealing the neck. The neck is a gateway, soft, open, vulnerable. When she touches it during conversation or lets it show deliberately, she's unconsciously revealing interest. The Stoic man reads this not with urgency, but with awareness. 21. Knees and legs angled toward you. When her body orients toward you, especially her legs, she's removing barriers, creating a triangle of attention. It's a way of saying, "You have my focus." The Stoic doesn't boast about this, he values it quietly, with presence. Deeper wisdom, the Stoic interpretation of sexual signals. A woman's body language, especially when it signals sexual interest, is often spoken of as a code to crack, a game to win, or a strategy to exploit. But the Stoic man sees something far deeper. He doesn't chase signals, he contemplates them. He understands that every subtle cue is not just a flirtation but a mirror. It reflects her state of mind, her comfort, her willingness to trust, and sometimes her desire to be seen in a world that so often looks past her. So, where others rush in with assumptions, a Stoic holds back, not out of fear but out of respect. He knows that desire without depth is fleeting, and attention without awareness becomes manipulation. So he moves differently. He observes, not to judge but to understand. When a woman brushes her hair behind her ear or crosses her legs with intention, he asks, what is she truly communicating beneath the surface? The wisdom of Stoicism teaches us that it is not merely enough to see the signs, we must master our reactions to them. A woman's vulnerability expressed through her body is not a license to take, it's an invitation to respond with character. Her signs of attraction may carry joy, but they may also carry fear, uncertainty, or the need to feel safe with a man who won't take more than she's willing to give. That man must be you. This is where emotional restraint becomes strength, where clarity becomes charisma, where presence becomes power. Most men look at body language as a green light. The Stoic looks at it as a chance to prove he's worthy of her trust, not just her interest. In modern life, the ability to delay gratification, to listen before you act, is rare, but this is what sets you apart. The Stoic man is not moved by impulse, he is guided by intention. While others obsess over how to get her attention, you remain still, aware and centered, knowing that the real attraction lies not in your pursuit, but in your presence. So when you see those signs, her parted lips, the gentle sway of her walk, the way her gaze lingers before she looks away, breathe, watch, feel the moment without rushing into it. Not everything is meant to be seized. Some signals are simply meant to be witnessed, acknowledged, and held in stillness. The true Stoic understands this. A woman's attraction is not your validation, it is her expression of connection. How you receive it defines you. Do you inflate your ego with it, or do you honor it by staying composed, grounded, and grateful? In the end, sexual signals are not puzzles to decode or trophies to collect. They are fragments of human truth, messy, mysterious, and beautiful. And if you can meet them with patience, empathy, and the calm strength of a man who needs nothing but sees everything, then you don't just attract women, you earn something rarer: their trust, their admiration, and their respect. That's the mark of a high-value man, not one who reacts to desire, but one who understands it and leads with virtue in the presence of it. Would you like to move on to the final part, the call to action? If you've made it this far, you're not just looking for signs, you're looking to evolve. The true power of these cues isn't in what she does, but in how you respond. A Stoic man sees clearly, acts deliberately, and never chases validation. In a world full of noise, be the man of quiet presence. Lead with awareness, move with purpose, and let your energy speak before your words ever do. If this resonated with you, subscribe to Ultimate Stoicism. This is where modern men grow, sharper, stronger, more grounded. Because the world doesn't need more attention seekers, it needs more men of substance. Are you ready?